Hi, my name is Connor, and for my evaluation, I'm going to be evaluating the Star Wars TV show, The Book of Boba Fett. Okay, so for starters, the show is about the very popular Star Wars character Boba Fett, and it follows him after his supposed death in Return of the Jedi. If you've ever seen that movie, you'll remember seeing him fall into the alien pit while everyone's fighting Jabba the Hutt. So the show begins explaining how he survives and how he's saved, and then goes into how the experience changed him and changes his morals. And I chose to evaluate this because I'm personally a very big fan of Star Wars. And it's been growing in popularity again a lot ever since Disney took over. And I think a lot of people have very different opinions on the direction of some of the shows. I'll be evaluating the show on a multitude of criteria, both of it just being a TV show and in terms of Star Wars content and how satisfied I am as a very big Star Wars fan and how the community reacted. For my first set of criteria, I'm more specifically going to be looking into what makes a good TV show. The first set of things I want to consider is storyline and content. Engaging storyline. How well is the story written? Does it follow a good linear path, or does it jump around a lot? Is it confusing to follow, or is it straightforward and maybe boring? Building off of the boring aspect with the content, is it exciting and engaging? Do I want to keep watching, and how excited am I to keep watching to the next episode? A good show can be well written and have a good ending, but it could end up being a little boring and not very engaging. Another big factor is likable characters. Are new characters introduced? Are old ones brought back? Do I find myself not liking a lot of the characters? A big part of a good show and making viewers connect to it is being able to bring in characters that are likable and relatable. And another big part of that is throughout the show, making those characters develop. It's really cool to see throughout the series of a show a character evolve from one spot and grow into another. So how well is the character development? My last set of criteria is more Star Wars focused, which this includes content and building on the lore of the universe that Disney is building. How well do they do this? Does it feel kind of copy and pasted like something we've seen before? Or is it an exciting new storyline that builds or creates a new dimension of the universe? Another big part is fight scenes, which kind of ties into the criteria of a good show, which is engaging and exciting, but how well choreographed are the fight scenes? Do they seem kind of lazy, or are they well choreographed and look good? And finally, are there returning fan favorite characters? A lot of the time, Disney has shown that they bring back fan favorite characters almost as a crutch, and the writing tends to suffer when they do that. So do they bring back fan favorite characters? And whether or not that's a good thing depends on how they do it. Storyline and writing. The backstory for an explanation for how Boba Fett survived was done well. I didn't have an issue with it. However, the main storyline and original content that they did bring about lacked excitement. It was very boring at times, slow moving. And towards the end of the series, episodes 6 and 7 were not about the Book of Boba Fett. They were Mandalorian episodes, and so that is kind of a crutch that Disney used and felt unoriginal. In terms of the actual writing, there's a lot of weird little one-liners that they try to do, and it just feels kind of awkward and not well written. And so here's this video clip as an example.
Where'd you get that water?
We stole it.
That's a crime.
Look, old man.
My name is Boba Fett.
Moving on to characters, we did get some new characters to live action that were already in the Star Wars universe with Black Krrsantan and Cad Bane. Cad Bane is personally one of my favorite Star Wars characters, so I was very excited to see him in the show. I thought that they were very well written. I thought that they were introduced well and they were good characters to bring in. It made sense for the storyline, and it wasn't a reach that they would be involved. The rest of the characters tended to lack development, and like a lot of other aspects in the show, were just kind of boring and not exciting. The group of gang cyber bikers, whatever you want to call them, from the previous clip were just not necessary in the show, and I thought that they were kind of dumb. So in terms of the content and lore of the show, it generally felt pointless. It didn't really add a lot to the Star Wars universe. If they didn't come out with the show, not much would have changed. Not much was added, and it just generally felt kind of pointless. However, it did set up The Mandalorian season 3 well, because 2 of the episodes focused solely on The Mandalorian, they were good episodes, but they weren't really episodes to this show, so that goes against the show. And a lot of people, including myself, have a problem with how Boba Fett was portrayed in this show, which is a bummer because it's his own show. And, he used to be this super cool, badass character, and throughout the show, he's just kind of a one-liner machine that is trying too hard, and he's just kind of ruined. So in conclusion, IMDb rated this show a 3.8 out of 5. I personally think that that's far too high. I would give it a 2.1 out of 5. I would not recommend this show to anyone that isn't a Star Wars fan. If you are a big fan of Star Wars, or you like the character of Boba Fett, then I think it's worth a watch, just mainly for the Mandalorian episodes. But if you're just a casual TV watcher, I don't think that there's anything for you here. And that's it. Thank you for watching.